All right, hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the road to the Final Four. 2 spots in the Sweet 16 are set. 6 more up for grabs tonight. I'm Ernie Johnson in New York. Joining me along the way, Clark Kellogg is here, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley. We got a full slate of games on the schedule this evening. Let's take a look inside March Madness presented by Buick. Starting with what's coming up next. On TBS, 8 seed Seton Hall taking on Kansas, the top seed in the Midwest. Over on CBS, it's Ohio State and last year's tournament final runner-up Gonzaga. A little later, this should be fun to watch. Florida taking on Texas Tech. In fact, they'll all be fun to watch.
That's right.
Out west, Houston battles Michigan. That will also be a good one. Okay, Seton Hall hasn't been to the Sweet 16 since 2000. Do they beat Kansas, Charles?
They do not. They don't. I don't think they beat Kansas. I don't because the Kansas weaknesses they can't take advantage of. The only way you're going to beat Kansas, they play a very small rotation, 4 guards basically the entire game. But Seton Hall don't beat you up inside, so that's why I think they're going to have a problem.
We'll go straight down the line here, Kenny.
It's going to be tough, but the guard play is going to be critical, of course. I just think Kansas has an experience edge and a little bit of a chip on their shoulder.
If Seton Hall can contain Devontae Graham, which has been hard for anybody to do, they've got a chance. Desi Rodriguez is the guy to watch because he can carry Seton Hall if he gets going.
I call that a pregame show that was tight and bright. Well done, gentlemen. Honored to be part of it. Road to the Final Four continues after we take a quick timeout.
Finds Desi left side for a 3. It's good! And let the celebration begin. The 14-year drought is over. Huge shot by Devontae Graham. And the Big 12 Player of the Year has his joint jumping.
Kansas, a record 29 straight tournament appearances, taking on Seton Hall on TBS. Brad Nessler, Steve Lavin, Evan Washburn got you covered. The tip is coming up.
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by Ready Player One in theaters March 29th. Axe, find your magic. And by Subway, make it what you want.
Second round action here in Wichita. Matchup the Big East and the Big 12. Seton Hall against the top-seeded Jayhawks of Kansas. And the winner of this one will head to Omaha and go up against either the Tigers of Clemson or the Tigers of Auburn. Welcome, everybody. Brad Nessler along with Steve Lavin. It's an 8 seed against a 1 seed. We know if you're a 1 seed, beware. We found that out last night. But in this case, Kansas, the number 1 seed's got the Player of the Year from the Big 12.
Devontae Graham, he spearheads this Jayhawk attack at both ends of the floor and brought the Jayhawks from 10 back against Penn in the first round win and gets it done a number of ways. Had 29 points, had 6 assists, 6 rebounds. How about 3 steals as well? The WD-40 man, he does it all, Brad.
Seton Hall, great balance the other night in their win over NC State.
Well, and 4 of these 5 are seniors who combined for 69 points in their opening game victory over NC State. It's about legacy, wanting to leave a footprint behind for the Pirates.
Here's the starting lineups. Rodriguez, the leading scorer for Seton Hall. For Kansas, led by Devontae Graham and Svi Mykhailiuk. There's the guy that got the win the other night. First one for Seton Hall since 04. Kevin Willard, his 8th year as the head coach of the Pirates. And on the other side, as we take a look at the Infinity Coaches Spotlight, the Hall of Famer, Bill Self, trying to get to his 13th Sweet 16 in his 15th season as the head man of the Jayhawks. It's going to be rocking in here because we're only about 2.5 hours southwest of Lawrence, Kansas, in Wichita. Ron Gruber, Keith Kimball, Anthony Jordan, our officials. Let's play ball. And it'll be Seton Hall and their point guard, Kadeen Carrington, into the front court first.
Carrington and Graham, an important matchup. Both those players orchestrate for their respective teams.
Delgado in tight against Lightfoot, too strong. Offensive rebound, and then Lightfoot the rejection. He had a few of those the other night. Good presence defensively for Mitch Lightfoot. Here's Devontae Graham. Around a Lightfoot screen. Have to give it up. Back outside, LeGerald Vick for three. Got it. Good start for Kansas.
A home game for the Jayhawks. How Seton Hall executes here early. Critical.
Double team on Carrington, trying to feed the post, throws it away. Graham almost palmed it. In fact, he did. Got a high dribble down there, and Kansas will give it back.
Well, good inside-outside basketball and a slow closeout by Seton Hall, and Vick dials it up, makes them pay from distance.
LeGerald at 14 the other night in the win over Penn. Rodriguez up high off the window.
Well, aggressive take. Rodriguez, you'll see him deployed by Coach Willard in a number of areas on the floor. Can bring it in transition, works well off the elbows, in pick and rolls as well.
Good job defensively right now by Sonogo. But Graham got free for that mid-range jumper and knocked it home.
Now, tight handles, good footwork, and blazing speed allow Graham to create his own shots off the bounce.
Miles Powell, the only underclassman in the starting lineup, misses in close. Delgado's hook shot followed his own miss.
The old Moses Malone style, padding his stats there, cleaning up the first miss, gets 2 rebounds and 2 points on that possession. Well done, my son.
Graham's going to try from the same spot. This one's a 3, actually. Long carom off to Rodriguez. Rodriguez wanted to lob it back to Delgado. Has to bring it back to Powell, who beat Graham to the lane. Offensive foul. Nice job by Lightfoot to hold his position.
Well, Lightfoot picks up where he left off in terms of contributing in a number of ways for the Jayhawks here. Gets set up, good rotation. That's vision, alert rotation to take away that bucket.
Lightfoot starting because Udoka Azubuike not in the starting lineup. Played only 3 minutes the other night with a sprained knee, but we do expect to see him for Kansas maybe as much as 15 minutes tonight, Bill Self said. Mikhailuk on the drive, had it stripped from behind by Carrington. It'll still be Kansas ball on the baseline. Ten on the shot clock. Graham in the lane. Trying to go up with the left hand, and a good job by Sonogo defensively. Knocked it away. So that's 2 turnovers suffered by Devontae Graham.
Well, Sonogo with the double-double in their first round victory over NC State. And sliding the feet and then using that length to contest shots.
Delgado backing in on Lightfoot. Nice fake, and the hook goes.
And no help from Kansas, electing to play Delgado in single coverage.
Seton Hall's first lead of the evening. Nice feed. Lightfoot all alone underneath. They doubled Mikhailuk, and it left Lightfoot all alone.
Good 2-man basketball executed by the Jayhawks. Mikhailuk, capable passer, and a good finish by Lightfoot.
Delgado, cross-court pass, open 3. In and out for Rodriguez. And a whistle and a foul on the rebound. Going to be on Lightfoot. Tracy Morgan is The Last OG, a new comedy coming to TBS on April 3rd. That'll be right after the national championship game, the night after. Azubuike in the lineup. Just when we mentioned him, Bill Self goes to him.
Azubuike gives this Jayhawk team a little size, strength, stout physically.
And again, Graham lost the handle. That's his 3rd turnover. And that's not normal for him. Seton Hall gave it right back. Good start, though, early.
Welcome back to Wichita, Kansas with the 1-point lead early over Seton Hall. Udoka Azubuike checked into this game right before the timeout. And this is a big story, guys. Thursday, he returned to the lineup for the first time. Brad, as you mentioned, only played 3 minutes in that game. He's still dealing with that left knee sprain he suffered right before the Big 12 tournament. But yesterday in practice, he took part in 90% of what was a very heavy up and down practice. The goal, again, as you mentioned, 15 to 20 minutes. They feel like he needs to give Delgado a rough night. Get him in foul trouble. That's really where they want to see his presence, guys.
All right, Evan, thanks. And there he is offensively down in the low block against the guy you just mentioned, Delgado. And Delgado, with the help, comes over, and Vic's got an easy one.
Yeah, Carrington came for the double. Good interior passing.
Seton Hall, all their points have come in the paint so far.
If you're going to double like that, you have to help the helper.
And air ball from Carrington.
Well, Azubuike with the catch, and you see Delgado trying to provide some resistance, but Sanogo gets caught napping, hesitated some instead of coming to deny that pass on the interior.
Graham lost it again. Let's see if Seton Hall can make it pay. Nope, Graham got the rebound and got fouled by Carrington.
That's two opportunities early here for the Pirates in transition. Some easy buckets on runaways where they had the advantage and just didn't convert. Can't miss the bunnies, Brad.
They have Graham for 3 turnovers. The other one would have been a turnover, but they called it a shot, which I'm not quite sure the scoring table was looking at. But at any rate, he's got 3 turnovers, not 4.
Tough call there in the post on Delgado. Seemed to be incidental contact. Azubuike hadn't even caught the ball yet.
Delgado 6'10", Azubuike a 7-footer, so that's going to be fun to watch, as Evan said. Maybe not so fun to play against each other, but and the quick hands too quick for Desi Rodriguez. He picks up the foul, trying to swipe the ball from McKaylee.
That's a balance. You want to pressure the basketball, but also demonstrate enough defensive discipline to not reach in the cookie jar. You want to trace the ball, near the ball. Boy, a lot of whistles here. An illegal screen.
And Azubuike, his first.
Officials may be trying to establish a tone early. Both these teams on the perimeter play physical defense.
Did you have to tell your guys when you recognize that when you were coaching, hey, they're going to call it like this all night, we got to play a little different?
Well, sure, and there's the racing form on officials. You know in advance they have certain tendencies. Supposed to call it in a uniform manner, but not always the case.
That was a shot, I think, by McKaylee, but it was going to be an air ball until Azubuike said, I got this.
Let's give him credit for the assist. Benefit of the doubt.
Might as well. You can fight with the official scores, not me. Long 3 is short. Collision on the rebound between Graham and Azubuike, and the foul's going to be on Sanogo.
Well, just a straight line drive, and I think it was a lob. Let's give him a little credit. Either that or a major air ball off a drive. Jayhawks tied together early. Azubuike getting involved with the two-hand jam.
That's got to feel good for him when he hasn't played that much recently.
Let you feel better about yourself, getting the flow of the game. Gives you a little confidence.
Vic straight up with a shot. Delgado snatches down the rebound, as he's done so many times in his career. Over 1,400, in fact.
71 double-doubles.
Here's a shot on the other end. And last touched. Let's see. The officials have a look at each other. And it's going Kansas direction. It's going to get pretty wild with a $50,000 jackpot. Stakes are even higher. Snoop Dogg presents The Joker's Wild. New episodes coming soon to TBS. Here's another look And the officials confer, give it to Kansas.
Got it right again. Give him credit.
Kyler, deep three, straight away, in and out. Delgado, easy rebound. Nobody home but him.
That's a good look. Just didn't go down, but it's how Kansas beats you. It's their three-point attack this year. Delgado with the traveling, shuffles the feet. But really interesting how the Jayhawks have offset their lack of rebounding. We take one more look. Delgado just didn't establish that left pivot foot.
He'll get a breather. Heads to the Seton Hall bench, and Kale comes into the lineup. As does Manu Kilashabiu.
We talked about it earlier. This is not your traditional Bill Self Jayhawk team with the large front line.
Right.
The defensive numbers, rebounding numbers are not as they've been in years past, yet here they are, champions, a 1 seed, and doing damage in the tournament because they've adjusted. Three-point shooting and speed.
McCullough gets a 2.
Well, case in point, such a fast tempo, high octane, high volume possession approach the Jayhawks have taken this year. And high marks for Bill Self making that adjustment.
Pirates had that quick start, lad, with 6 points in the paint. They're still stuck on 6. 8-0 Kansas run in the last 4 minutes. And another turnover. He stepped on the baseline. That's the 6th turnover by Seton Hall. They only had 7 the other night in the whole game against NC State.
Mikhailuk getting involved at both ends of the floor. We saw his playmaking here. The step back, nice crossover, gathers the feet, drains one from distance.
Marcus Garrett and Silvio De Sosa in the lineup for Kansas, as is Malik Newman. So what little bench Bill Self has, he's already used. Here's a cheap foul on Miles Powell. That'll be his 2nd. Kansas in command right now with just under 12 to go first half.
Great. Another dead end.
Sarge, I just got a tip that'll crack this case wide open. Turns out the prince at the crime scene...
Did McGruffy Wuffy get a tippy whippy?
I'm serious. We gotta move fast before...
Who's a good boy? Is him a good boy?
I'm just gonna go.
Oh, you wanna go outside? You gotta go tinky poo-poo.
I already went, okay? In the bathroom.
As long as people talk baby talk to dogs, you can count on Geico saving folks money. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Adam Zucker back in New York with this game break delivered by Pizza Hut. It's a final from the South region. Kentucky blowing open what was a 5-point game. Hamidou Diallo at 22. They beat Buffalo by 20. Big Blue Nation going to Atlanta in the Sweet 16 for the 4th time in 5 years. And on TNT, Dante Ingram with the 3. Loyola Chicago up 6 right now on Tennessee as we go back to Brad, Steve, and Evan.
All right, Zuck, thanks. There's a bracket with Loyola Chicago trying to pull one over Tennessee. Kentucky with that win. You know, they got a break in their bracket. Virginia's gone. The 1 seed. Arizona, the 4 seed's gone. So Coach Calipari probably got a smile on his face right now, I would imagine.
And Red Rush, he's smiling down from the basketball heavens. The old Loyola Ramblers broadcaster.
And the officials are going to have a little committee meeting here about whether or not there was a foul on that rebound or who's got the ball. It's going to be Kansas. Let's check in with Evan.
Well, guys, Kevin Willard, that last huddle, the 2 priorities, you mentioned the turnovers. Those are obvious, 6. But he also said 0 assists, guys. That's got to change. Offensively, he wants ball movement. Also tempo, excuse me. They want to grind this game out, not getting a ping-pong match, as he described it.
Looked like a walk underneath by Garrett, but he gets it outside of Graham, who missed a 3. Loose ball. Mikhailuk picks it up. And now a lob underneath, and Silvio De Sosa knocks it home off the feed from Graham. The lead swells to 9, and Kevin Willard has seen enough. Timeout. Tournament summary yesterday. Ryan Odom's team, first time in history, is 16 over 01, making history. And Kentucky advances tonight to the Sweet 16, 7th time under Coach Calipari. Dave Odom, I know, is proud of his son and his team. We got Kevin Willard here, whose dad was a head coach as well. Tony Bennett's dad was a head coach. All 2nd-generation guys as coaches.
Apple not falling far from the tree.
Nice hook pass. Delgado all alone underneath, and he missed. He got it back. I don't think he wants to miss twice.
Once again, 2 rebounds and 2 points on a possession.
And that ends a scoring drought of about 5 minutes and 20 seconds or so.
And a great look by Rodriguez in traffic, facing the double team, but had the size to play over the top and find Delgado.
And now the lob way in deep to De Sosa. And those two battling underneath. Going to be Seton Hall ball. On the tie-up.
Delgado, point-blank range, didn't catch it cleanly, and that allowed Kansas to recover.
I think he scared himself that he was so wide open. He didn't handle the first one, but he got it the second time, and there went their scoring drought, because before that, their previous 8 trips, 0 for 6 from the floor and 4 turnovers, so they needed that. They need another one here. Enzi, and he walked with it, so there's another turnover. And that matches the entire game the other night. Over NC State, they had 7. They've got 7 here in the opening 10 minutes, not quite 10 minutes.
Well, they've been costly turnovers, too, because the Jayhawks have converted 6 points off those 7 points. And also, 2 of the Pirates' turnovers came when they had the advantage in the break and were about to get a bucket of their own.
And now Carrington picks up his second foul. So a little bit of foul trouble in the backcourt. Carrington and Powell for the Pirates are starting guards. Both have 2.
Yeah, going back to being aggressive, but also using good judgment in your aggression. It has to be purposeful pressure. Otherwise, a team's going to get to the bonus and double bonus sooner and end up shooting free throws all night.
And Kansas already in that bonus that you're talking about with that last foul. So at the line, Marcus Garrett, just an even 50% free throw shooter on the year, 21 out of 42. And that's why.
Interesting, Brad, how much respect the Jayhawks have for Desi Rodriguez on his catches. They're just selling out and double teaming, forcing someone else to try and beat them.
Nice bounce pass in there by Kale to get it to the big guy Delgado, who's going to go to the free throw line.
Well, a little 2-man game. Good penetration. Delgado with the catch, the pump fake, able to get himself to the foul line.
Angel, 60% free throw shooter from the stripe. 6 points so far on the night, make it 7. Who's going to make the most shots? Who has more points in the second half? If your bracket's already busted, it probably is. Play the Capital One NCAA Tournament Run game on NCAA.com and in the March Madness Live app. Delgado, 6'10" senior. Native of the Dominican Republic, got them both. So he leads away with 8 and cuts the Kansas lead down to 5.
Pirates going to go with the 2-3 zone. Good adjustment here, trying to keep the ball in front. Level off, dribble penetration, keep the bigs at home, and less foul prone.
And a foul en route to the basket. It's going to be on Aaron Gordon.
And that's unfortunate. When you're in a zone, the whole idea is less likely to foul. But even in the zone or man, you've got to move the feet.
So Garrett's going right back to the free throw line. Freshman out of Dallas, was the Texas Gatorade Player of the Year last year as a senior in high school. Little trouble with the free throw shooting there. Exactly the midway point of the first half. Delgado, another rebound.
If you're Kansas, you want to take advantage of Carrington being on the bench. He's their floor leader, their emotional leader, a senior. The goal would be to extend on this lead.
Nice opening on the far side. A step back 3 is short. And Mikhailuk in the right place for the rebound. Offensive foul.
Good work by Kale. Giving the Pirates productive minutes late in the season here. Just jumps out.
Garrett just throws his shoulder, kind of out of control on the dribble. He picks up the foul. That's 5th turnover suffered by the Jayhawks.
Not sure Kale was set or that he gave enough time, but he sold it well. and gets the call.
Delgado, he might have a double-double lab by halftime. He's already got 8 rebounds and 8 points.
All-time Big East rebounder, passing Derek Coleman this year.
Here he goes to work in the lane. That little short one-hander. This time it doesn't go, and Azubuike is in the way for the rebound. Delgado thought, you know, if I miss, I'm going to get it back, but not around the 7-footer. Devontae Graham has not had his normal night so far, either as a scorer or as the field general. He's got more turnovers than he has points right now. There's a 3 that goes for Miles Powell, their top three-point shooter, and it's cut the Kansas lead down to 1.
Terrific look. A terrific look by Sonogo as well. The little inside-outside action leads that open 3. Breakdown defensively by the Jayhawks.
McKyler packs it inside. Azubuike spinning on Delgado, trying to get around him and can't. Good defense by Delgado. And Malik Newman says, I'll take over. He drives and scores his first basket.
Newman with the afterburner, straight line drive, very efficient, no wasted movement.
Gordon getting early playing time for Seton Hall because of the backcourt foul situation for Carrington and Powell. Rodriguez had it swatted out of there, and now it's Devontae Graham, and he's fouled. And now they've got more foul trouble in their backcourt because that's the second on Gordon. Going to be an issue for the Pirates right now. Kansas up 4 here in Wichita.
Hello, friends. So glad you could make it. Hall of Famer Charles Barkley, legendary filmmaker Spike Lee, and Hollywood megastar Samuel L. Jackson.
Jim Nance.
Guys, thanks for being here.
Got anything to eat?
I'll be right back with some game time snacks in just a moment.
Does he ever turn it off?
What? That velvety voice? That's his signature. Like, I'm known as the good-looking guy. He's known for being in every movie ever made, and you're known for being just Spike.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. Taco Bell's new nacho fries. And by Indeed, the world's #1 job site.
Back in Wichita, our game summary. Seton Hall not shooting well at all, but they've got to be happy they're only 4 down right now. 7 turnovers matches what they had the entire game the other night against NC State. Devontae Graham's been held in check, though. 2 points, only 1 of 5 from the floor. He's got 3 turnovers. So not a normal night for him. That'll change before it's over, you can bet. 7:57 remaining in the half. Brad Nessler, Steve Lavin, Evan Washburn, and our crew here in the second round. And Devontae is at the line where he shoots 84% to lead the team. Now, you can't teach speed until now. Bleacher Report. Get alerts for your teams and scores before anyone else. Download the app now. Devontae Graham, one of only 3 Kansas players to have over 1,600 points, over 600 assists, and 175 or more steals. And you say, who are the other guys? Pretty good company, as you might guess. Darnell Valentine and Kirk Heinrich. That's some good Jayhawks.
Legit.
Evan, what do you got?
That last huddle, the point to Devontae Graham, let those free throws get you going. Like any good shooter, sometimes getting the line can help. He's disappointed in the freelancing on either side and the lack of communication defensively with some of the rotations off the pick and rolls, guys.
All right, thanks, Evan. Newman, a quick 3 off the mark. Carrington out to lead the pack. And Vic with the foul.
Now Carrington there out in the open court where he is dynamic, electric, wisely elects to go over the top in terms of trying to flush this, and that's how you draw the foul. Didn't try and baby it.
The reason for the fan reaction is they thought that was a block shot, not a foul by Gerald Vick. Well, he got up there, that's for sure.
And it may have been a clean block or Wilson sandwich, but again, by trying to play over the top,
that might have been clean.
He was rewarded. Looked clean.
Carrington hitting the deck probably had something to do with it. At any rate, Carrington makes it pay with a free throw.
And sometimes officials anticipate. and they look, but they don't see. We get to review it and see it in slow motion. Big difference.
Easy for us to say over here. First 2 points for Kadeem Carrington on the night. Over 1,800 in his career, and now he's going to go and sit. They don't want him to get a 3rd foul. He and Powell both have 2 fouls. So does Aaron Gordon, the guy that took his spot. It's defending Devontae Graham right now. So he's got to be careful. Newman likes to drive like that.
And that's the dilemma when you got Carrington and Powell with 2 fouls each. Carrington's one of your better defenders and the best defender on the perimeter for the Pirates. So when he goes to the bench, it hurts you at both ends of the floor.
There you see that backcourt situation with the foul trouble. Gordon hooks it out to Rodriguez. Got an open 3 and got it.
Man, does he have a toolbox offensively.
6'6" senior out of the Bronx. 5 points for Desi. And the lead's down to 2 again.
And Rodriguez can beat you in so many ways. Inside and out, off the bounce. Here we see Seton Hall back in that zone. Kansas trying to attack the middle, the teeth, the heart of that zone.
Mikhailiuk, a guy that can shoot you out of the zone at times. He's going to try a step back 3, but that one's short. And, ooh, collision between Vic and Rodriguez. This one smarts.
Secures it with 2 hands. Those 50-50 balls. So important. And as a result, Rodriguez steps to the foul line. I'm impressed. Nope, he won't step to the foul line. I'm impressed with how Kevin Willard is managing through this foul trouble. Mixing his defense, his zone and man. Getting a little bit of rest for Carrington, but also going to use him depending on time and score.
Kansas 16 foul. That's why there's no free throws on that one. And now a nice feed underneath. And Enzi with his first basket. We're tied, Steve Lavin, at 20 in a rock fight in Wichita. Last time out we thought Kansas was maybe going to run away and hide. The Pirates have come back to tie it at 20. 15-4 run, last 5 minutes.
Great counter punch. A resilient bunch they are. And Kevin Willard hitting all the right notes in terms of managing or navigating through foul trouble here in the first half.
Graham thought about a 3. Newman around a Lightfoot. Hicks going to fade away on the baseline. Tough shot. Nice offensive rebound by Lightfoot. And then it's snatched out of there by Rodriguez.
Good work by Lightfoot to get to the weak side, though. Pick up that rebound. Just didn't finish.
Pirates have only led once in this game. That was at 6-5. Powell, the extra dish. Hook shot is short. Delgado, another rebound, and off the window. And they lead again.
And kept the ball high, Brad. So critical. Didn't bring it down where the guards might strip it, the diminutive ones.
Mikhailiuk, an air ball. I don't know if Rodriguez got a piece of that or he just missed it that badly. And here come the Pirates with the biggest lead they've had. 2.
Bill Self has to decide if they're going to keep double teaming Rodriguez or not, because the Pirates have moved the ball well off those double teams and converted.
This guy's already got a double-double left. 10 and 11. Make it 12 and 11.
Weight room shot right there. Use that shoulder into the sternum, the chest of the Jayhawk defender, and then a nice jump hook.
72nd career double-double for Delgado. And this year, when he's had a double-double, they're 18 and 3. And a whistle and a foul. Nope, going to be a walk before the foul. They'll make it a Kansas turnover.
So Delgado carving out space, asking for the ball. Good target hand. And nifty footwork. Gathers, doesn't rush, takes his time, and then the weight room flex.
I'd do that too if my arms looked like that.
Yeah, feeling it. I know you worked out this morning. I didn't.
Yeah, we had a late night last night.
Yeah, Delgado, a stout, physical build.
Seton Hall on an 18-5 run. They couldn't buy a basket. They went 5 minutes plus without scoring, and now here they are in the lead by 4.
Well, it's not often you see Delgado and Carrington on the bench at the same time. But again, Kevin Willard using some ingenuity and resourcefulness here. Fans not happy with the out-of-bounds call. Pirates will have it.
Azubuike with the rebound, and he is fouled. Seton Hall has come storming back. They lead by 4. First round coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship continues tonight on ESPN2 and the ESPN app. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. Udoka Azubuike at the free throw line. Not a good free throw shooter is an understatement. He's a 42% free throw shooter. 2 field goals since Seton Hall switched their defense in the last 6 minutes. Meanwhile, the Pirates are going on an 18-5 run. 11 minutes ago, we were looking at a 9-point Kansas lead, and now we've got Seton Hall up by 3. Udoka made me look bad, but on that second free throw is very pretty.
Good adjustment by the big fella.
Pass inside. Turnover, Seton Hall. That's their 8th of this first half. They come back with their seniors, Delgado, Rodriguez, and Sanogo. All 3 seniors back on the floor.
Delgado with the quick blow on the bench. And Kevin Willard not wanting him to pick up that second foul. That's why they're still in this zone defense. They'll continue to mix and match, try and keep Kansas off balance. And you can contest 3-pointers out of the zone at times better than you can your man-to-man if you're working.
Mikhailiuk with a little finger roll in the paints.
I love Mikhailiuk's intelligence. His choices and judgments are spot on. When to drive, when to pull up, when to get his teammates involved.
He's got the crowd involved again as the lead's down to 1. Rodriguez guarded by Graham. A floater over Azubuike. Follow. Sanogo tried to get a hand on it and just about brought the rim down. And it's going to be Kansas ball.
Yeah, Sanogo couldn't secure it. Would have had an easy one, but here's Mikhailiuk. Nice finger roll. Iceman George Gervin would have enjoyed that one.
Chance for the Jayhawks to lead this trip. Mikhailiuk will try it again and got it again.
Yeah, poor defense by the Pirates, Brad. Man or zone, you got to slide the feet, level off. No angles in terms of dribble penetration.
Svi has given the Jayhawks the lead back by 1. Rodriguez with the left hand up, didn't get the roll. Everybody battling for the rebound, and it's going to be Kansas ball, lost out of bounds by Sanogo. Heck of an effort by Sanogo trying to capture that thing before he hits the deck. Good hustle, but doesn't have anything to show for it. Except maybe a bruised elbow.
Physical play of late. Officials letting it go a little bit. Why not? March Madness. No blood, no foul.
Malik Newman all the way across the lane. Little hang time. Delgado snatches down his 12th rebound to go with 12 points. And that KO almost lost it out of bounds. Kansas touched that, so it's not an over and back. Delgado does a nice job of tracking it down to the backcourt.
Yeah, big fella even took a couple dribbles. Felt good for him.
Gordon, 3. No good. Graham all alone for the rebound.
Yeah, not the shot Kevin Willard wanted.
Newman's going straight up with it. Yes. Devontae Graham got that pass to him, and as soon as he let it go, he put both hands in the air as if to say, this baby's going down. He knew Newman was going to hit it, and he did.
Now those long threes, Brad, can act as outlet passes for the opponent. It's exactly what happened. Miss a 3 and Kansas takes it down and makes a three of their own.
We approach 1 minute. Nice crossover dribble by Gordon. And he scored off the window around 2 guys. Lack of a drive.
Did it the hard way.
Mikhailuk says if nobody's going to stop me, I'm going to keep trying. But that time they did stop him. Newman. And he sticks it. And it's going to be Seton Hall ball.
Well, the Jayhawks scamper, play in transition as well as any team in the country this year. And the quick strike offense, they score in spurts. Smaller lineup, but they force teams to match up, a little like Golden State Warriors in the NBA, Brad, in terms of the speed and skill on display.
Kansas ball on the baseline, not Seton Hall. Stand corrected. Graham runs into his own guy. He came around an Azubuike screen, and it was actually Udoka he ran into. Got a face full of his teammate. This is when you're trying to get around a guy 7 feet, 280 pounds. Boom. Yeah, that hurts. And he's still down. Trying to get the tears to stop. He's wondering what he hit right now.
Right in the schnozola.
Here's another look as Devontae comes around and he runs right into his teammate's left shoulder. And down he goes and down he stays until right now he just got helped up. And he's going to head to the Kansas bench or huddle. We'll see which.
You got the sense it wasn't going to keep him out of the game.
He had 19 points in the first half against Penn the other night. He's only got 3 points right now. And he's either going to the end of the bench or straight to the locker room because he's only got 45 seconds left. And he's going to take a seat at the end of the bench. Coming up, AT&T at the half. We'll get you caught up on all the latest tournament news, highlights, and updates. All coming up. AT&T at the half, which is 45 seconds from now.
The Pirates get an early one. They could go 2 for 1, but you want to be sure you're getting a good look, most importantly.
Carrington back in there. Sat much of the half with those 2 fouls. They could use his scoring, though, on these final couple possessions. 10 on the shot clock. He goes up against Mikhailuk and drew the foul. Exactly what they wanted him in there for.
Seton Hall at their best when Carrington's at his best. His playmaking, shot-making ability when he's locked in terms of his judgments, setting the table for his teammates, and then defensively he can disrupt opponents because of his quickness and wiry strength. Comes up short on that free throw.
He had hit his previous 2. 1,820 career points for the senior out of Brooklyn.
They'll substitute here for him if he makes this free throw. Now he's in the game, has to be careful that he doesn't foul. Kevin Willard wanted to get him out.
Yeah, they had Gordon at the scorer's table, but with the 2 misses, you just got to be careful now in the final 10 seconds of the half.
Good help by the Pirates.
Newman. The 3 goes from the other side.
Kansas makes them pay, Brad.
Newman. 10 points in the first half for Malik. And it gives the top-seeded Jayhawks a 5-point advantage at the break.
Well, Cale came to help. Carrington not wanting his teammate to pick up his 3rd foul, but it leaves an opening. And
Evans with the leading coach.
Well, Coach, 11-2 run to close out the half. What opened things up offensively?
Well, we made a couple of threes there late, but we were awful offensively, and we got to play through Doak some, and our defense was pretty good. Our first shot defense was excellent. We got to do a better job on the glass, but we got to drive the ball more. We settled way too much.
You knew the wave of Angel Delgado was coming. Other than throwing Doak out there a bit more, is there anything else you can do to try and keep him from wrecking the second half?
Well, I mean, we don't trap with the 5-man that often, but we may have to trap him some. But the biggest thing is we got to have better dives. But Mitch and Silvio and Doak, they got to be able to keep him off the glass some.
Coach, thank you.
Thanks.
The Jayhawks are 23-1 when they lead at half. They lead at this half, 31-26. We'll send you to AT&T at the half after these messages. You're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship.
AT&T at the half is presented by AT&T. More for your thing. That's our thing.
11-2 run late takes a sting out of this a bit for Kansas. Devontae Graham right between the eyes.
At least we know he's not a boxer.
31-26 is the Kansas lead over Seton Hall with a spot in the Sweet 16. Riding on that one. Back here in New York, AT&T at the half. Ernie Johnson, Clark Kellogg, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley. Let me give you the first shot at this one, Chuckster. What do you see here in the first half, the first 20 minutes of this one with Kansas?
We said before the game the one thing that Seton Hall had to do was dominate Kansas inside. Angel Delgado's done it. He got 12 points. But they have to keep it at such a pace. They had it at the pace they wanted to because every time they try to run with Kansas, they're going to get run out the building. So they really just controlled the tempo. They dominated inside. They played a perfect game and they're still down. So the thing that scares me is Seton Hall's not going to score 6 to 8 straight points. Kansas can do it they scored 9 in 3 trips down.
Yeah, Delgado.
Turnovers have been an issue for Seton Hall. They have 8 turnovers, 10-2 points off turnovers. If you're going to control the pace and slow it down, you can't throw it to the other guys.
And not just 12 points, but 12 points and 12 rebounds. So
Chuck-like numbers.
The 72nd double-double of his career ties him with Bill Walton.
But the one, wow. Well, that's the only time him and Bill Walton going to be in the same center.
15th place.
But the thing is, Kansas, they play 4 guards basically. So they don't have big guys down low. So he's the guy who's going to have to dominate, but they can't turn it over like Clark say, but they can't let Kansas spurt. Because, like I say, 3 trips down, they're going to score 9 straight points. Then this thing can get out of hand.
Yeah, and so far, Kansas has only made 3 of 12 from behind the three-point line. You know that they're capable, as you say. I mean, they make 10, 11 threes a game. But if you're Seton Hall, you've got to feel good about the fact that they haven't gotten it going. There's LeGerald Vick, and then Devontae Graham misses that one from deep. Not bad defense here. Kailu is lethal from there, but Seton Hall doing a reasonably good job at least getting out to the shooters for the most part, and they're going to have to continue that. They've got to keep the three-point game down, and as Chuck said, dominate inside if they can.
Yeah, and I also think that even though Kansas is up in the game and feeling confident about that last spurt, I wouldn't feel confident about the way Devontae Graham is playing because I think he's turning the basketball over a little bit too much, uncharacteristically. He's not getting them in the offense easy enough. So once he settles down, maybe the stinger will actually wake him up instead of put him to sleep. But I think getting them in the offense a little bit easier will get them easier shots and get them better three-point looks.
The reason he's pressing because Seton Hall's got the game at such a low-scoring pace because he wants to get it. Coach Self said it. We interviewed him a couple times. Like, he's the guy who says to her, I said, who on your team has to play well? He said, Devontae Graham. Because he controls the complete tempo of the game, gets everybody out on the fast break, get them wide open threes, and he's just a little impatient because he don't want to play this at this pace.
So this game is on TBS that you're watching here, but let's get you out to Dallas. Game on TNT right now. Loyola Chicago and Tennessee, under a minute to go. Spiro Ditas, Len Elmore, Steve Smith, Rosgold on Woody have the call.
With a hard-stopping win here on Thursday. Can they pull it off here in Dallas tonight? Towns, 7 to shoot. Jackson.
Took his eye off it, and he's out to play. It's a 5-on-4 situation. They have numbers, but Jordan Bones, smart, wanted to run this, calm him down. They got a timeout by the volunteer. That's why you got to go after the ball with 2 hands.
Rick Barnes takes his final timeout. Down 2 with 27.7 left.
So they take a timeout there in Dallas in a 61-59 game. Take me through what we've seen so far. Tennessee Clark, started well. Loyola Chicago comes back and then builds a lead on the Vols.
Well, you know, both of these teams are outstanding defensive teams, Ernie. I mean, you look at Loyola, they do a great job keeping people under their field goal percentage norms and scoring. The same with Tennessee. They do it a little differently. Tennessee is much more aggressive and physical. Loyola more disciplined and not quite as physical, but very solid. And now it's a matter of Loyola is comfortable in this type of game. So too is Tennessee, because both of these teams have won games in the 60s throughout the year. So we've got, what, a little bit, well, only a 3.7 second differential. So if you're Loyola, you want to defend without fouling and try to get that defensive rebound if the shots miss. If you're Tennessee, I think you want to go fairly early here so you give yourself a chance for an offensive rebound or a foul if you don't get it.
But I didn't like the play because when they got the steal, they had a 5-on-4. You push it so you can get a quick shot or a wide open shot. You can still call timeout. But they had a 5-on-4 and they walked the ball up the court. I didn't like that play at all. Now they give Loyola a chance to set up their defense.
Loyola, one of the better defensive teams in the country, number 5 in the nation, allowing 62 points a game. They've held Tennessee to 59. They're up by a deuce. We're going to get you back right now to Dallas. Spiro Ditas on the call.
Find a way to run a high pick and roll with Cluster and Jackson with the floor spread. Tennessee with their highest seeding in nearly a decade in the tournament, down 2. Williams right to the rook, and he is fouled. He can give Tennessee a lead with 20 seconds left.
Well, excellent play by Rick Barnes. Gave him some space. Did not try to post him on the block because that's an advantage with the front and the 3-quarter. Got it to him to the elbow, and look at that young man explode over the top of Jackson.
It's elementary. Give it to your best player and the best player in your conference. Not hard.
They take a break in Dallas. We take a break here in New York. Game tied at 61. The Volunteers can break that tie from the foul line. We'll be back.
It's the most exciting time of the year in basketball, and college mascots are ready. And when it comes to pumping up fans, nobody does it better. But when it comes to mortgages, they're less confident. Fortunately, there's Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. It's simple, so they can understand the details and get approved in as few as 8 minutes. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender.
America, you're going to be introduced to one of the best point guards in college basketball.
The man of the hour, Rob Gray, is going to take the final shot.
I'm a senior, never been in March Madness, so it's what I live for.
Up, under, and in! Rob Gray, a new career high, 39 points.
Difference in this game is we had Rob Gray and they didn't.
Yeah, what will Rob Gray do for an encore later when the Cougars face Michigan with a Sweet 16 berth at stake? Meantime, Tennessee took the lead at the foul line over Loyola. And then this happened.
Unbelievable. There you see Custer pulling up for the jumper, gets the roll. Tennessee going to get a shot at it here, Ernie. Plenty of time for a couple of dribbles. But off the back iron, right on line.
And the Ramblers are in the Sweet 16 as they end the season of the Tennessee Volunteers, Chuck.
What a fabulous game. I mean,
their sister Jean.
Unbelievable game. Good execution on both ends of the court. You know, tough shot.
For the ball.
Tough shot by Loyola. Sends Tennessee back.
So they win it 63-62. First appearance since 1985. They beat Miami. They have them shaking their heads in Knoxville. And they're into the Sweet 16 against either Nevada or Cincinnati. Second half, the Hall in Kansas coming up.
AT&T at the Half is presented by AT&T. More for your thing. That's our thing.
It's halftime. Number 1 seed Kansas leads Seton Hall 31-26. We'll return to Wichita after these messages. You're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship.
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by the Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus, Cadillac, Pizza Hut, official pizza of the NCAA, and by Northwestern Mutual. Spend your life living.
It's about set to start the second half. Kansas in front. Let's take a look at the first half stats powered by Google Cloud. 10 out of 31 from the floor for Seton Hall. A game of streaks in both directions. Both teams off their game. Go to ncaa.com/bracketiq for more. But even with your best player not having his best game, you still got a 5-point lead in the case of Kansas.
Yeah, a bit of a rock fight, and for both coaches, it's the same objective. Get Kadeem Carrington involved, run some sets, allow him to get in the flow, and the same goes for Devontae Graham. Even though he's hit in the honker, expect him in the second half to impose his will on this game.
Let's check in with Evan.
Well, yeah, let's start with Graham. He does look like he's going to be fine, which is good news. Spoke with Kevin Willard of Seton Hall, and his priority on the defensive side, they'll go back to man mostly in the second half. They've got to cut down the straight line drives. He felt like they gave up way too many of those in the first half. Obviously, foul trouble was an issue. He's going to let his guys play loose here in the second half, not manage their minutes if he can. He also felt like offensively, guys, the ball's sticking too much. I mentioned the assist numbers early in the game. Only 3 at this point. Feels like that number's got to be way up.
All right, Evan, thanks. And you mentioned the foul trouble, and it shouldn't be a problem now. They got through that first half without their 3 guards picking up a key third foul. Here's one of them, Powell. Rodriguez, an opening 3 off the mark. And Sanogo tries to save it, but it comes into Vic. And here's Devontae Graham. Let's see if Kansas can get him involved.
Pirates should have had better pursuit.
Mikhailuk, he did that in the first half, got away with it. This time a little bit off the mark. Azubuike keeps it alive, and he's fouled. I think they're going to call it on Sanogo. Let's wait and see. Nope, they're not. They're going to call it on Rodriguez.
Mikhailuk, so aggressive, putting the ball on the floor, and he draws help defenders of the Pirates, and that allows Azubuike to get inside on that weak side for the putback.
So Udoka goes to the free throw line. There he goes, got 2 in a row.
And he helped that one out. Kind of a gooseneck follow through the middle 3 fingers.
I was in Lawrence earlier this year for a regular season game, and I watched this kid work so hard to practice on his free throw shooting. And I mean, it's an effort. He works his tail off to try to be better from the line, but he's a 42% free throw shooter.
Well, so often it becomes mental in terms of confidence, like the short game in golf, really the equivalent to free throw shooting in basketball.
See if he can make it 3 straight. Not quite. Got 1 of 2 and a 6-point advantage for the Jayhawks.
Evan mentioned those 3 assists, 8 turnovers, not the ratio Kevin Willard would prefer, but Carrington only played 11 minutes, and he's one of their outstanding playmakers.
Powell for 3, rims out, Azubuike with a rebound. And Graham looking to push it. Mikhailuk, jump stop, left hand, got it. Nice drive by Mikhailuk.
In the open court, avoided the contact. Able to get to a window where he could score. At 6'8", he can play over the top, whether it's on the perimeter with his 3-ball or his passing or there taking it to the rim. Size matters.
Powell, he'll drive inside, got it right on Azubuike. Delgado, another rebound and another score. That is 14 points, 13 rebounds for the big fella.
Delgado, not a skywalker, doesn't have a quick jump like we've seen out of other players like Sanogo, the pogo stick, but he carves out space. He's so massive.
What a lob by Graham to the big fella who almost brought the ceiling down with him. Now the other end, Carrington scoring.
Right back at you. Take an opponent's score away by getting one of your own. And Bill Self not happy with that transition defense off the Azubuike dunk.
They go right back to him. Same result. Delgado can only watch him.
Well, Mikhailuk with a surgical, precise pass, leading Azubuike right to the rim where he can just catch it and dunk it. Talk about spoon feeding. What a delivery.
That's why Azubuike shoots 77% from the field. Hard for those to not fall. That one doesn't fall for Rodriguez. And a foul on Sanogo after.
Well, Graham here just lifts it up, leading Azubuike for the two-hand chin-up, and then right back, Mikhailuk passes that ball into a pocket away from the defense, but leading Azubuike to the rim. Well done.
And he gets a standing ovation from the Kansas fans behind that bench as he'll get a breather after a quick start of 5 points of the 7 in the second half for the Jayhawks.
Well, always interesting to see in the first 5 minutes what's been emphasized at halftime. And you can tell by how a team comes out of the locker room, both offensively and defensively, what's amplified, what's emphasized. For Kansas, it's get it inside.
Mikhailuk going right back to the drive with the left hand. Good looking shot.
Yeah, and there it is again. These are all aggressive attacks on the rim, and the Jayhawks rewarded with those zero-footers or point-blank shots.
And their biggest lead of 10. See if Seton Hall can stop the bleeding. That one's knocked away. Sanogo got it back. They move it around. Powell going to take it to the lane and score.
Boy, Sanogo alertly getting the ball out of that traffic. A lot of congestion on the baseline. As a result, the Pirates play a little hot potato, and Powell finishes it off with the Jayhawks in rotation.
5 for Miles Powell. Devontae Graham still only 1 basket in the game. Mikhailuk gave it up. Newman won't. Rings out a 3.
Here comes the speed burner. Beep, beep. Carrington in transition. Got to stop the ball. Find him.
Sanogo thought about a 3. And Powell will take one. Tough rebound with a left hand for Delgado underneath, and he's fouled by Lightfoot. Kansas has come storming out of the blocks in the opening 4 minutes. And now Power in the paint, presented by Powerade.
Well, the strength, the force, and the power of the Jayhawks here as they have attacked the rim. Assault on the basket. Azubuike over the top. An impressive performance here early by Kansas in the second half, as clearly Bill Self has told them to take it to the hoop.
Azubuike got a little bit of a breather before that media timeout, and he's back out there. Delgado at the free throw line. And Angel got the free throw to drop. He's now 15 and 15. 15 points, 15 boards. Not a bad game, huh?
Gobbles up rebounds like the Cookie Monster.
Rips the second one as well. Perfect from the free throw line. 16 points for Delgado.
See if Kansas continues to put the ball down low. 8 of their 9 points in the second half have been in the paint, demonstrating that power.
Graham lobs it underneath. Azubuike, will they work against Delgado or the double team? He'll give it up instead, and then there's a foul inside as Garrett went up and got hacked by Sanogo. And that's foul trouble for Sanogo. That's his 3rd.
Azubuike showing some skill there, pass in tight quarters, using his size to drop one off to Garrett, who has the length and put out that target hand for the delivery.
Marcus Garrett missed his first 3 free throws in the first half, but he got that one. That's his first point. Always remember, if you have a refreshing Coke Zero Sugar, a big upset isn't that upsetting. Not sure if you could sell that to the Virginia fans today, but nonetheless. Got them both. Better looking form for Marcus Garrett. And the lead goes back to 8.
Little dribble weave, handoff into a screen and roll with Delgado and Carrington.
Delgado mishandled that pass, and Seton Hall turns it over. Lob ahead, Newman.
Well, Graham beginning to wheel and deal, orchestrating this Jayhawk attack. A great lead pass, like a fly pattern in football for the Deuce.
And there aren't many guys that can catch Newman when he's in the open court. A 10-point advantage for the second time. And a foul as Carrington drives into the lane.
Now the key off of this turnover is the head is up. Graham keeps the eyes ahead, looking down court. And Newman able to run under that pass, just enough air under it to get over the top of the defense and land in his hands. Well done.
Carrington, who had 26 points against NC State, just 4 so far in this game. Powell for 3. Off the mark, battle for the rebound. And they're going to call a foul on Rodriguez, and that's his 3rd. So he and Sanogo now, each with 3 for the Pirates.
The Pirates have to be careful to not become too perimeter oriented. You see Rodriguez picking up the foul.
So they went from having backcourt foul trouble in the first half to front court trouble here in the second half, and that'll sit Desi Rodriguez down with his 3rd foul.
Sometimes you can play defense with your offense when you're in foul trouble. Be a little more patient, probe, investigate, explore, get ball reversals, play through the paint, get yourself to the foul line.
Azubuike asking for it now down low, and he got it. And the pass is perfect again. As when they double on Azubuike, that's the result. In this case, a nice assist and the biggest lead of the night. Top-seeded Kansas up a dozen. Kansas up 12. Stream live 24/7 highlight scores and news free across all your connected devices with CBS Sports HQ. Check it out now at CBSSportsHQ.com. A 12-point lead is the biggest of the night for the #1 seed Kansas Jayhawks.
Kansas with great ball movement this half. Their assist total up to 13, so clearly working in concert, sharing the sugar.
Delgado backing in against Azubuike. Kicks it back outside. Carrington. And finally, a 3-pointer goes for Seton Hall.
Well, and a timely 3-2. Need to stem the bleeding. And when it's your leader, important that he sees the ball go through the net here in the second half.
Vic works against Cale and buries the jumper. Just elevated over the top of him.
Well, now they're in rhythm both offensively and defensively. You've seen the point-blank range, dunks, high percentage shots in the lane, establish that run game or power game. That opens up the 3-point attack.
Delgado hits the outside jumper. He's got 18.
Well, that's something that he's improved upon, his perimeter shot, his comfort level facing the basket from year to year because of player development and doing the work in the offseason.
Azubuike, oh, look at those two battle. That's an offensive foul. He used all 280 of that pounds right into Delgado's chest.
Well, 2 big, stout, physical frontline players. Azubuike not happy with that call, to say the least. Animated.
I love that reaction. Fans don't like it still. And an opportunity to get the lead cut down to single digits here for the Pirates. That was tipped by Vic.
There's the catch for the big fella.
And there they go at it again. Only it's on the other end. And this time Azubuike loses again. Another foul.
Well, the difference on this was the shoulder wasn't buried into Azubuike. And Azubuike initiated the contract when he scooted up and in. Good job in terms of verticality. But the way the game's officiated now, Brad, tie base or benefit of the doubt goes to the offensive player.
Right. Powell missed a 3, kept alive by Cale off the backside. And they'll have a fresh shot clock to work with. Carrington draws a double team. Somebody's got to be open. Delgado was momentarily. And he walked with it.
I like that reaction. Get to the next play. Delgado here in single coverage. Graham comes to dig at the ball. And official felt he didn't have that pivot foot established.
So they wasted an opportunity with Azubuike not in there defensively to score. Instead, they end up with their 10th turnover. Here's Vick for three. Got it. And LeGerald Vick warming things up here in Wichita.
How about Graham with the playmaking as well, coming back to his hot hand, Vick. When he's feeling it, why not?
Look at the lean job by Garrett. Carrington three, yes. Big shot for Kadeen.
Graham double teams, but Delgado's ability to get the ball back out makes the Jayhawks pay. Carrington drains one.
McKyler drives. Right-handers off the mark. The rebound snatched down by Envy.
Two-man game. Delgado and Carrington.
Delgado, again, the catch down low, draws a double team. They work it around. Kale's going to elevate, but he missed the jam. Was he fouled from underneath? Apparently so. LeGerald Vick, a couple of threes this half. Lights up the crowd in Wichita.
Adam Zucker in New York with this tournament update. Over on CBS, Gonzaga, they started the game on a 15-0 run against Ohio State, and they've stayed hot. Zach Norvell Jr. has 15. They've made 6 straight shots and lead Ohio State by 13. As we go back to Brad, Steve, and Evan.
All right, Zuck, thanks. As the sun goes down in Wichita, there's the bracket. Ohio State, Gonzaga, and Xavier, the #1 seed there, has a date with Florida State. Here, the #1 seed, Kansas, led by 5 at halftime. And right now they lead by 10 with 11:13 to go in the ball game. And at the free throw line is Miles Kale, a freshman out of Middletown, Delaware. Hasn't scored yet in the game. Had 4 points the other night against NC State. And he got the first one. You can watch live games on your computer, your phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today. So the Pirates have it back, at least momentarily, to single digits, down to 9 as Azubuike clears off the second miss.
Well, Kansas shooting 73% here in the second half, so they've been on fire. They've done it by getting layups and dunks, and now the 3-ball coming into play as well. So nice inside-outside.
Good move by Azubuike with a left hand on the baseline. Decided not to bang with Delgado, just kind of backpedal and use the other hand. So the big guy's got 10 now. Delgado kicks it out to Carrington for 3. His third three-pointer of the second half.
And Delgado showing those playmaking skills, the intelligence to see the help, find the open man. Carrington starting to feel it.
McKyler will try to feel it, and does for Kansas.
Devontae Graham, the catalyst, spearheading this attack by setting the table for his teammates. Appreciates the thrill of the pass.
3 of Kansas' last 4 field goals have been 3-pointers. This time Carrington takes it inside.
You know, Carrington showing that shifty change of direction ability. A slasher gets to the rim with the best of them.
We talked about him having a quiet night. Well, it's not quiet anymore. 15 for Carrington. And Kansas continues to hit from the outside as Newman drains one.
You know, Graham again carving up the Seton Hall defense, Brad.
The Jayhawks going long ball right now. Seton Hall can't keep matching twos with threes, or they're going to get blown out. Delgado. Oh, talk about battling. That is a fun matchup to watch.
Yeah, and neither in a rush. They're taking their time, seeing that they're in single coverage, and just going to work like you're in practice, working on post drills.
Here it is on the other end again, and there's the shoulder again. Udoka just can't seem to not bury that shoulder in number 31. Delgado's walking down the court with a smile on his face, but he's also holding his back.
Now Delgado, a veteran here, and he sells this well. But once that arm gets up and that chicken wing tries to rip through, it's an easier call for the official to make.
And that's the side that Delgado was holding as he came by us into the front court offensively, kind of holding his rib cage.
Kansas now going to put Lightfoot on Delgado.
And Delgado's going over the top of him. Inside on the second chance, Enzi.
Kansas has to be careful. That is, Seton Hall has to be careful to not overhelp on Graham's penetration, because that's how they're getting these wide open shots.
Lightfoot in there now with Azubuike on the bench with 4 personals. And Vic goes airborne, but missed it. Seton Hall can get it to 6. That won't go, though. And here comes Devontae Graham, 1-on-4. Lobs it up there, drew the foul, though. He'll be going to the line when we come back. Kansas by 8, just under 8 to go. There's some moves. Fan of our second game, Houston, Michigan, coming up later tonight. Now it's time for our degree move of the game. And the lob from Devontae Graham to the big fella, Udoka Azubuike, who had a big second half. He's got foul trouble right now.
Getting it in.
The Cougars and the Wolverines are nightcap tonight. By the way, that assist by Devontae Graham, who's had a quiet night as far as scoring. He's at the free throw line right now. But he had a terrible first half, 4 turnovers. This half, 6 assists, no turnovers.
8 assists for the game. Shows his intelligence and understanding that he can influence the game in a positive manner without scoring. And yet we know he's carried the Jayhawks through the years because of his ability to score as well.
And missed his second free throw. Check in with Evan.
Well, guys, Kevin Willard in that last huddle spent the entire time with specific action on the offensive side of the ball, trying to get some of his priority scorers the ball in their hand, like Desi Rodriguez right here. Also defensively, more active hands. He feels like that'll make it more difficult for Kansas to get these quality looks from 3.
He wishes Delgado could have handled that a little bit better. Lost it out of bounds. Gives it back to Kansas with a 9-point lead as we approach 7.5 minutes.
Tight quarters. A lot of velocity on that pass by Rodriguez. I was going to say, what a catch if Delgado did pick it off.
Graham through traffic, the kick out. Vic had to wait for it and then missed the 3, and Delgado's got his 16th rebound.
Pirates fortunate there, almost threw one away. Carrington able to track it down.
Straight up jumper, rims out. Delgado keeps it alive, the offensive board, but he missed him close. And Lightfoot has it for Kansas. Jayhawks under 7 minutes and up by 9.
Again, Pirates have to try and keep Graham in front and not overhelp on his dribble penetration, leaving open Kansas shooters on the perimeter.
And Mikhailuk is fouled. That's going to be on Sanogo, and that is his 4th. At this point, with a 9-point lead, you really don't need Azubuike out there if you're Kansas.
Now there's a costly turnover, unforced. Just a breakdown in communication
And hold on, got a officials are stopping play. Well, they're going to bring it back. I guess they're resetting the shot clock. I think that's what they were doing. Anyway, back to it. Carrington's going to save every second he can before he picks the ball up. Hook pass into Delgado is into traffic, and it's stolen away by McKyler.
Great help, alert, the collapse like a Venus flytrap by the Jayhawks, and that pass didn't have enough ping on it or velocity.
6 minutes remaining. Devontae Graham has a look at that shot clock, dribbles to the free throw line, and tried to hit the jumper from the elbow off the mark. Rodriguez, another rebound, Delgado, and another bucket underneath.
Just stays with it, Brad. Carves out space. Anticipates every shot being the missed shot.
My question's answered. Azubuike's coming back in as Bill Self calls timeout. The lead down to 7, courtesy of number 31. With his 19th rebound and 22nd points. Ooh, he's a man. But Azubuike's going to come back in now because Delgado's chopping up Kansas interior defense without the big fella out there. So we'll get to see those two banging shoulders and chests for the next 5 minutes and 42 seconds, hopefully.
Well, and that double-double, Brad, is number 72 for Angel Delgado, and that ties Bill Walton of UCLA and, of course, Dayton's Don May.
Tongolo of LaSalle has the all-time record in that, 96 career double-doubles. Let's see what Kansas does if they try to get it to Azubuike now inside. McKyler looks like he wants to take one. And will. Doesn't score. Stick back's no good by Vic, but the ball's out to Kansas. Couple of golden opportunities there, but the Pirates just couldn't get their hands on the ball there. Delgado had it momentarily and lost it. And Kevin Willard says that was our chance. We got to stop. Just couldn't hold on to the ball.
The officials telling the assistant coaches, Seton Hall, to sit down, but he did it in a gentlemanly way. Acted as though he's going over to pick up a piece of paper and sent the message as well.
Newman, that quick first step, and the drive is good.
Well devised. Baseline out of bounds play. Newman, who can sweep and drive to the right, using the size to finish.
17 for Newman. Lead back to 9. Delgado got his man in the air and hammers it home.
Okay, big fella.
24 for Angel Delgado. Graham has to give it up, brings it back out to McKyler. We haven't worried about a shot clock much tonight, but it is down to 8. Azubuike, hook shot, no good. Delgado, his 20th rebound.
A one-hand outlet there, too, as well.
Angel's a little tired. He's slow getting into the front court. He's holding his shorts right now, but they'll go back to him if they can.
Let the big dog eat.
Here he is on the outside. Powell's going to try a huge 3 and got it.
Good screen by Sanogo. Powell working off the ball. Gets a catch and shoot from distance.
Timeout, Kansas. The Pirates are not going away. Not without a fight. Game summary. A lot of points in the paint. Most of them courtesy of Angel Delgado. 24 points and 20 rebounds right now. Azubuike's in there, but he's playing with 4 fouls, and that makes a big difference. Steve Lavin with 4:01 to go.
There's no doubt they'll explore post touches on all their possessions going through Delgado, who's demonstrated the ability to play make out of the post as well.
Graham on the dribble with 3:45 to go in regulation. Again, 10 on the shot clock. Newman going to work. Pull up. Buries it. It's a 3. And Malik Newman has 20.
Well, we saw him get the sweep off that baseline out of bounds play. The drive from the elbow to the rim for the 2. And then now coming back for a 3 ball from distant, just sizing up. The defense goes through the leg, a crossover, a rhythm dribble, bottoms.
The officials wanted to check that to make sure his foot wasn't on the line. As you saw it perfectly from our crew, it was not. And Newman has 30 and 4 threes tonight.
And the transfer from Mississippi State oozing with confidence.
I may have said 30 for Newman, 20 for Newman. A 20-20 night. Hakeem would dream the last guy to do it in an NCAA tournament game. Powell, 3, got it! Huge shot, Miles Powell.
And he's streaky, Brad. I like the call by Kevin Willard and the Pirates. The willingness to get it back to the hot hand.
Graham, kick out. Vick penetrates, dishes. Newman might want another one right here. He'll do it on the drive, but he's fouled.
Well, Powell scores in bunches. A good find by Carrington. Misdirection, comes back across the grain, and Powell able to catch and shoot, line one up.
At the line, Malik Newman, 81% free throw shooter. He's got 21 points. 3 Kansas players in double figures. Vick's got 13, and Mikhailuk has 13. Free throw's good. His team's not necessarily great free throw shooters and a team, but that's because Azubuike and guys like that bring the average down. But Malik Newman and Devontae Graham aren't going to miss too many if Kansas goes to the line with those 2 guys.
Well, and that's why coaches put the ball in the hands of their best free throw shooters in late games.
And Graham, the steal. Costly turnover by Carrington.
Yeah, dribbled it right into traffic.
Still a 2-possession game, though, with 2:40 to go. Graham lobs. He tried to get it to Azubuike, I think, and it's stolen away. Rodriguez. And he's fouled by Mikhailuk.
Well, a good decision by Rodriguez to be aggressive when you're in the open court, scattered court, defenders trying to locate the ball. That's the time you'll be rewarded by being aggressive, with the game being called to protect offensive players and freedom of movement and the cylinders and all these terms we have to try and get the scores north and have a more entertaining brand of basketball. And with that information, Rodriguez attacks in the open court.
Rodriguez hasn't scored this half. Only 5 points, averaging almost 18 a game. Their leading scorer. Steps up with a couple of big ones here. And he missed the first. His first trip to the line, not successful. Lightfoot's going to come in. Azubuike goes out.
Well, Rodriguez just hasn't found his rhythm.
He's been off all night, you're right.
And that's a credit to Kansas. We saw it early. They were going to focus on him with those double teams, selling out. Now they've stayed attached to him all game.
Got the second to make it a 5-point Kansas lead. A little backcourt pressure. No problem for Kansas. Devontae Graham backpedals on the dribble. Uses some clock here. Around a Lightfoot screen. Missed the 3. It almost dropped through after it went high up on the backboard.
Big possession here.
I was going to say Delgado's got to get a touch.
Play through the
There
big.
it is. But he gave it up. Carrington triple. Delgado 21st rebound. Go back to it. Here he is against Lightfoot.
Good wall up by Lightfoot, providing the resistance. Still plenty of time.
Powell, tough shot, rims out. Rebound lost. Loose ball picked up by Newman. Down to 135. And Kansas by 5.
Still can play straight up here. Got to get a stop. Once you get inside of 20, you haven't fouled. Now you got to play it out.
Delgado does a nice job walling off Newman, but here's Mikhailuk for 3.
We talked about it before, Brad.
Timeout. Seton Hall. Kansas' 9th three-point shot of the night was a big one, Lab.
Well, Newman with the penetration and draws multiple Pirate defenders in a nice reverse pivot, fans the ball back out, no one even close to Mikhailuk, so he can line it up and torch the nets. And again, that's that issue we talked about. You can't overhelp on penetration against one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country. They'll make you pay.
Both teams over the limit in fouls, each with 1 timeout remaining. It's an 8-point advantage for the Jayhawks. Carrington got to go to work in a hurry. He will against Lightfoot, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Good drive there by Carrington. They put Powell, the hot hand, in the corner, and that stretched Kansas's defense and allowed Carrington to use the spot, the quickness to get to the hoop.
Carrington, their best free throw shooter at 84%. Tonight has only hit his first 2 and missed his last 2. True on that one, though.
Well, Carrington, just one of those seniors at Seton Hall, continued to improve in every aspect of his game. Leadership, ball handling, shooting, passing.
Kadeen, second of 2. That one's in and out. And Lightfoot tracked down the rebound and was fouled by Sanogo, I think, and if it's him, he's gone. It is, and he is.
Brad, just going back to that three-point shooting, Kansas 9 of 21. And that's how Bill Self has been able to offset the fact his team this year doesn't have the defensive numbers or the rebounding numbers, the size of years past. And that's good coaching. Adjusting to your personnel, using your ingenuity and resourcefulness as a coaching staff, and putting your players in position to win. They've done it a different way than his previous championship seasons.
And with the shots they've made tonight, they have made 361 threes on the season. I think this is a situation where the officials are looking at the clock, as Carrington was at the line with 106 when he missed the second one. And I don't know, maybe they'll take a second off the clock. I don't see much there. But Anthony Jordan and Ron Gruber will get it figured out over there at the scorer's table. Meanwhile, it's going to be a 1-and-1 for Lightfoot.
What's interesting, Kansas on the season averages 10.1 three-pointers per game, and here they are at 9. That ranks 21st in the country. Almost as though teams with their system or style of play find a winning formula, and if you hit those metrics or math, it increases the probabilities of victory based on your individual particular personnel. And it's a marriage of system, style of play with your personnel, and that's again what coaches have to do on an annual basis. In college, they keep.
It took us 5 minutes to take 1 second off the clock, but we've got it.
I'm just happy the clock is on.
Yeah,
the light bulbs.
If you weren't with us the other night, we lost 11 minutes of our life that we'll never get back because we had a fuse issue. So that's another story for another day. Lightfoot at the free throw line. And he missed it. Delgado, another rebound, a career high. 23 rebounds for Delgado.
Something aggressive to the rim. There it is.
Carrington pushed by Mikhailiuk or Lightfoot, one of the two.
Well, that's ideal because you get to the foul line, you can chip away at this deficit by making free throws, but you also set your full court pressure defense. You go for a 5-second call or a steal on the inbounds. If you don't have that, one trap. And if that doesn't force a turnover, now you've got to begin to foul.
I'm going to take Rodriguez out and put Gordon in for Seton Hall. Meanwhile, Carrington, who's their best free throw shooter, but not tonight, has actually missed as many as he's made. Every point counts because we're under a minute. That one's good. So Carrington, who's very quiet in the first half with just 2 free throws, has 15 second half points. And he rips the second one as well. And the lead is down to 5 with 58.9 to go. Backcourt pressure by the Pirates, overplaying in the corner and almost came up with it, or did they? Nope. Kansas ball.
They'll review this one.
It's under a minute, so it is reviewable because there was a little hesitation by one official.
Really interesting. If you watch this inbounds play, Carrington actually allows initially, before this, here we get to see the replay.
Now that view was, Ron Groover couldn't see very well from that angle, and the call was made at midcourt by Keith Kimball, one of the other refs. And now they're at the scorer's table, as Lapp said, to look at this, because this is vital.
If it hits Carrington's knee at one point, then pops back up.
Not sure it didn't hit Cale's elbow at the very end. We're going to give you as many looks as we have. No, I don't think so. Now, from that angle, I don't think Cale touched it. Boy,
he may
that's
have
a bang play. I don't know.
His left hand, and unless there's definitive evidence, they can't overrule the call on the court.
Right.
So, with those angles, it would be tough. All the limbs, the arms, swiping at the ball along with knees. What was interesting on that was Carrington actually allowed the ball to get in, and then, like a defensive back,
then went for the swipe.
Went for the swipe and almost picked it off. He was baiting the passer to throw it.
You see Kevin Willard, the Seton Hall coach, is right on top of it. And they're off the wrist, maybe, of Cale.
And then you zoom in, you lose a little bit of the frame of what's going on up top.
And look at the very end, touched there, but it almost looked like the backhand of the wrist, the back of the wrist of Cale. I don't know. I'm glad those guys are determining it, not me. What you've seen is what we've got, and that's what the guys have to work with. So an all-important call coming out of this review by the officials.
You never assume, but my guess is the call stands unless they've got an angle.
The call that was made at midcourt pretty emphatically by Keith Kimball, but he was, I don't know, 30 feet away, maybe. Maybe not quite that far. So this gives both teams a long opportunity to talk things over, except we don't know whose ball it is yet.
And if it's Kansas basketball, then Coach Willard has to be talking about what they're going to do here. Again, you switch everything coming to the basketball. Try and get A, the 5-second call, B, a steal on the inbounds, as Seton Hall almost did there. Then one quick trap, and then you've got to start to foul and not allow the clock to wind down.
Whether they saw anything definitive on the monitors or whether they just let the call stand because they couldn't get indisputable visual evidence, it's Kansas ball.
That's my guess.
So here we go.
There's the trap.
And a push by Cale of Devontae Graham, who's out in the crowd somewhere.
Well, commendable effort here by the Pirates. That's what you want to do. And at the end of it, they did stop the clock, trying to lengthen this game, create more possessions, hope that the game pressure leads to some missed free throws by the Jayhawks.
Jackson, our camera guy, took a nice charge down there from Devontae Graham as he was heading out of bounds. That's why you got a great look of Devontae on the flyby.
Get some ice.
1-on-1 on the other end.
Get some ice for his elbow. Rehydrate him, some Gatorade, power bar.
So Devontae Graham, who has not had a big night scoring, but has done a lot of other things well at the stripe. He's only 2 out of 4 from the free throw line, and he is Kansas' best free throw shooter. So we've said that for both point guards, he and Carrington both. And he had to talk that one in, man. It just died at the back of the rim and fell in. And Cindy Self, the coach's wife, looking up there going, are we going to the Sweet 16 for the 13th time or not? They're only 53 seconds away from it. 2 big ones there. And time is of the essence for the Pirates. Got to hustle.
Don't have to start launching rockets. You can still get something going to the rim.
Carrington inside, off the window, got it.
Now you set your pressure defense.
They almost got a steal last time. Can they get another one here? They got Newman in the same corner. Newman wheels around there in a hurry. And he's coming down 2-on-1 against Delgado. We'll go to the free throw line.
I like the aggressiveness. Good thing he picked up the foul, or you might have heard from Bill Self. But the attack baseline to baseline, a good thing he got the angle. And that's his read, and felt confident enough he could get to the foul line.
Malik Newman, leading scorer on Kansas side of things with 22 tonight. Redshirt sophomore, started off his career in the SEC at Mississippi State before the transfer to Lawrence.
There's Julie Willard, Kevin Willard's wife, and of course Ralph Willard sitting nearby as well, his father.
Newman got them both. The lead is 7 with time running out on the Pirates.
I've got to go straight to the hoop or launch a rocket.
And the rocket goes. Carrington from deep cuts it to 4 with 29.4 to go. Don't go away. We're going down to the wire in Wichita. Game reset. Kansas in the double bonus. The arrow belongs to them. The lead belongs to the Jayhawks as well by 4 with 29.4 remaining. Going to be full court pressure again from the Pirates. Kansas jogs back into the backcourt. It's going to be Mikhailuk to inbound. He's got Newman, Graham, and Vick back there with him.
This is the quick Pirates lineup. Delgado there, offense for defense, ready to substitute on a dead ball situation, but this is the quicker unit.
They get it to Vick. He's double teamed. Back to Mikhailuk, who threw it away almost. But underneath, Lightfoot on the dish from Graham. That was almost a turnover. It ends up being a slam dunk. And that might slam the door on the Pirates. Carrington got another one from a mile away. He shot that from Dodge City. Whoa. Still a one-possession game.
Well, what a sequence. A near steal, triple team in the corner. Rodriguez just a beat slow on it. Lightfoot finishes, and here's the answer, Carrington.
Carrington's got the last 11 points for Seton Hall. And it's still a one-possession basketball game.
Well, seniors that don't want to see their career and season end at Seton Hall. And what a run they've had as a group. And fighting right to the end here.
Marcus Garrett and Kansas.
Newman's made it a two-possession situation here with the free throw. One of the best nights of his Kansas career.
Free throw box out important here.
Got them both. Two huge free throws for Malik Newman. 5-point game. 16 seconds to go. Carrington trying to preserve as much time as possible. And now he goes to work a runner. He's got another one.
One possession game.
He scored the last 12 points. And now a foul on Newman in the backcourt again.
And great judgments by Carrington, of course. The fact the ball's going through the net makes him look even better. But when it's a two-possession game, put that first one on the floor. Nice runner. Able to split defenders. The accuracy, hand-eye, soft touch, good lift.
The Pirates keep hanging in there, but Newman won't go away from the free throw line.
Well, this one would be a dagger.
He's hit 8 straight. Make it 9.
Kansas, no fouls.
Kansas up 5. Carrington's hit the last 13 points for the Pirates. And now it's going back to Kansas.
Carrington threw another one in. Doesn't count.
Mm. 6.2 to go. And when you're on the short end and you're the coach's wife of the team that's down, that's the reaction. This guy's done a whale of a job, though, as a coach.
One of the best, brightest in the business.
3 straight seasons of 20-plus.
Big East Conference Tournament championship as well.
Got their first NCAA tournament win since 04 the other night against NC State, but now they're down 5 with 6.2 to go. McCallum trying to get it in bounds. And I think they're going to do it again. They're telling Cale he's got, NZ rather, he's got to give him a little more room to get the pass in. He was basically standing on the sideline.
Coach Self wants him to execute this play. Emphatic.
McCallum has to lob it in to Devontae Graham, who's fouled immediately by Gordon. Didn't take long, at least. 5.1, but a 5-point game, if it becomes 7, is going to be enough to send the Jayhawks to the Sweet 16.
Brad, what I find so refreshing about Devontae Graham is here's a game where he struggled some. You're in the NCAA tournament, bright lights, the big stage, a senior, and yet he didn't have it going in terms of his shooting. So he chose to instead share the basketball, set the table for all of his teammates, and orchestrate as a quarterback that wasn't looking to hunt for shots. And he continuously drove the ball, drew multiple defenders, and kicked it out with precision to his open teammates on the perimeter.
7 of his 9 assists came in this second half. And they're resetting the game clock again. Another half-second put back on. 5.6 remaining. It's going to be academic if Graham hits these 2 free throws. Cindy, you can start packing for Omaha, I think.
What a performance by Dean Carrington, getting the big bear hug by his mentor, Kevin Willard. A lot of love, genuine, sincere.
He had 26 the other night, 28 more tonight. But Devontae Graham has just iced a Sweet 16 trip for the Kansas Jayhawks again. Powell, the 3 goes at the buzzer, but it's too little, too late. And Bill Self, for the 13th time in his brilliant coaching career, is headed to the Sweet 16. Heck of a game. Great performance by Seton Hall, but a better performance by the top-seeded Jayhawks of Kansas.
Once again, Kansas out-rebounded by 7, and yet they generate victories, manufacture W's in a different manner than any other point in the Bill Self era.
Not only do you feel bad for the seniors that go out for the Pirates, especially Delgado, who had a career night on the rebounding with 23 to go with 24 points.
Oh, one of the better NCAA individual performances I've seen in 30 years by Angel Delgado.
What a show number 31 put on, even though it was in a losing effort. Evans with the winning coach and one of the stars of the show, Alec.
Brad, thanks. Well, Coach, a lot of layers to that game. From your perspective, what made the difference down the stretch?
Probably Malik. Malik carried us. We had nothing going. I think Doak helped us a lot, too, getting about 20 out of him. But we labored the whole game, but we had enough guys make enough plays, and certainly we made it interesting down the stretch. We got to play a lot better moving forward.
Well, in that regard, when Devontae's maybe not at his best offensively, but you get contributions from Malik and Doak about what this group can do forward, what does it say?
Well, you know, from this point forward, we're going to have all 5 starters play well at the same time. at least 4 out of 5, and that really didn't happen today. But Devontae's been so good, and he was kind of due a game like this. And I thought Lagerald played well and made some big-time plays, and Svi made that timely 3 down the stretch. But the bottom line is we got to guard the ball better. We did a terrible job guarding the ball.
Coach, thanks for the time. Okay. Congrats on another Sweet 16.
All right, thanks.
Malik, come on in here. Some high praise from your head coach. At what point in this game did you realize that you were going to need to bring a lot offensively with Devontae maybe not having it?
I mean, just throughout the course of the game, I was just trying to find my flow throughout the game. And Coach pulled me to the side like at the 10-minute mark, and he just told me I wasn't being aggressive. He told me I was trying to let the game come to me instead of going to take the game. So I just had to change my mentality and my mindset to just go out and play.
As you guys continue to move on and advance here, what do you feel like this group is capable of doing in this tournament?
I mean, I think we're capable of winning it all. I mean, that's the plan when you come in here. And I mean, like Coach said, we have to have at least 4 of our 5 starters to play well in order for us to do that. And I think down the way we can only play better.
Lee, congrats on a great game. Enjoy it.
Thank you, my man.
Well, that's what it feels like to be a Pirate fan. 83-79 is the final. Kansas going to the Sweet 16. Tune in to TNT and CBS for live second-round games. We've got Houston and Michigan yet to come from Wichita. We'll send it to our studio for the Capital One Tournament Central after these messages.